Hello and welcome. My name is Avatar Barutulu, and this assignment I'll be talking about future technology of learning. In this assignment, I'll be talking about the following: primary learning techniques, the benefits of traditional learning, and future learning in classrooms. Here depicted in front of you is a concept map I created. It talks about the three types of learning: visual, auditory learning, and kinesthetic learning. Visual, you learn by seeing images. Auditory learning, you learn by hearing words. Kinesthetic learning, you learn by movement. And I have a video that will talk about this more in detail.
Welcome to Visual, Auditory, and Kinesthetic Learning Styles and Awesome Animation by Lorena Bull. The VAK Learning Styles uses the three main sensory receivers: visual, auditory, and kinesthetic, which refers to movement or doing. Although technically part of kinesthetic, T is sometimes added for tactile or touch. Visual learners come in two types. One type prefers learning through written language, so they do best with reading and writing tasks. For example, they need to write down directions when they're going somewhere unfamiliar. The other type of visual learners don't do as well with written language, preferring other types of visuals like demonstrations, charts, and videos. They're able to visualize where they're going, so they don't need to write directions. Auditory learners prefer discussions or recordings they can listen to, as they may struggle with reading and writing. They may read aloud and talk to themselves. Kinesthetic learners prefer to learn through movement and touch because they need external stimulation to keep them concentrated. Their note-taking strategies often include doodling, diagrams, and the use of highlighter markers. While learners use all three learning styles to receive and learn new information, one or two of these styles is usually dominant. But this could change depending on the task, say preferring a combination of styles for one task and a different style for another. Our learning style is often forced upon us through life like this. From kindergarten through third grade, new information is presented kinesthetically. Grades 4 to 8 are visually presented, while grade 9 through college and beyond is primarily auditory through lectures. According to VAK theorists, information should be presented using all three styles to allow all learners the opportunity to become engaged. So how do you learn best? Go to the link below to take the VAK Learning Style Survey.
The video right there talks about the visual, auditory, and kinesthetic learning. And I have a picture that will describe it in the best detail here. You see, this is an image I found. Visual, you see to learn. Kinesthetic, you move to learn. Auditory, you hear to learn. Those three right there make learning much easier. So this is very essential. Now, as we segue to traditional learning, I found the following here. Benefits of traditional learning. Classroom environment offers comfort and familiarity, which means the student is comfortable in a familiar environment. Classroom environments foster better face-to-face interaction, so that the student is in the classroom and is having a face-to-face with teachers and students, so it helps the student learn. The last point, classroom environment has fewer technology requirements. Basically, that means that if the student does not have a computer that can access the internet, it's all right because he's with students and he's interacting with them. But each student learns differently, so it's important to know what you're good at, what's your learning aspect here. And let me also talk about blended learning. See the benefits of blended learning. When you blend learning in a classroom, you have design opportunities for students to achieve desired outcomes using mobile devices. It also provides multiple and differentiated pathways. Blended learning allows teachers to personalize learning and targeted instruction based on their individual needs. So blended learning in the classroom helps students. And so here you see a diagram, a graph about blended learning. You see it as it goes up and down from 87, 88, and 91, 95, 88. So it changes up and down, but blended learning is still new is still something that you're going to have to get acclimated to. And the following here are some cons of the risky learning here. Technology can be distraction, possible disconnect of social interaction. Technology can foster more cheating in class and on assignments. Students do not have equal access to technological resources, as stated before. The quality of research and resources they may find may not be top-notch. And sixth and final, lesson planning may be more labor-intensive with technology. So when you're planning with technology, you're going to have to deal with all types of barriers. You may get something that is good today, the next day maybe it may not be good. So you have to understand what you're looking for, how you're looking for it. And as we also switch to another topic, which is computer programming language, you see here machine language, assembly language, and source program. And you see C, C++, Visual Plus, and COBOL. I have a video that describes this in more detail, so allow me to play this video for you guys.
Well, I can certainly try. Computer programming is really a lot like writing a recipe. If you've read a recipe, you know what the structure of a recipe is. It's got some things up at the top that are your ingredients, and below that, the directions for how to deal with those ingredients. Well, a very similar thing happens in a computer program. You list out the various things that you're going to be dealing with, typically, and then you have some instructions that say what to do with those ingredients. So if you can understand a recipe and follow it in your kitchen, then you could program on that level. But you can take it a lot farther than that. Many of you, I'm sure, have seen the Iron Chef show. I love to watch that, especially if they're given strange ingredients. I'm not sure I would like trout ice cream either. But one of the things that happens there, if you follow along, is that the Iron Chef or whoever the chef is doesn't actually do all the work. They have what are called sous chefs that they farm out, subdivide the jobs to, and they'll do the kind of busy work. And programming is kind of like that too. You are the head chef, but there are bits and pieces of the computer out there that will do things for you. Now, it's not quite like Iron Chef, because Iron Chef, you have some fairly intelligent sous chefs who know how to coddle an egg or chop up a fish. But your computer tends to be more like a bunch of really efficient robots, but they're very stupid robots and very literal-minded. So you have to, at some level, tell them exactly what to do. And but once you've told them that, you can just point to the robot, and it'll do the same thing over and over and over again, and do it exactly the same. And computers are like that. That's how they are valuable. They sort of take over all the boring bits of our thinking. And then you can kind of take it beyond that. Instead of just thinking of yourself as the chef that's in control, sometimes you want to program more like you're thinking about how the food actually goes through the process. And maybe even take it up a notch and say, here's a factory that produces some food item, Twinkies or whatever. And you have raw ingredients coming in. It's assuming you think Twinkies are food. You have raw ingredients coming in.
See here, computer programming language. As a person, you're thinking about let's say a math problem, 2 plus 2. A computer cannot it cannot compute that without your input. So you do the thinking. Computer can process something faster than your brain, but however, you as a person has to tell it what to do. Now, as we also move on from that to game-based learning, you see it's a concept map about game-based learning. You learn through games, and you see video games, board games. I have a video that talks about this more in detail.
Game-based learning is becoming a growing topic among HR and L&D professionals worldwide. It has been used for developing technical skills for a long time now, but the appearance of game-based solutions for soft skills development, while game-based learning has called the attention throughout the market. In the rush, some concepts are getting confused, for example, gamification and game-based learning. We can use gamification to help our training processes, but gamification is not a training tool itself. Gamification uses game mechanics to engage students in our training efforts. Some of the gamification techniques used are competition, stories, achievement, level, status, and rewards. We can certainly use these techniques to increase motivation, make our training fun, engage students, and improve completion rates, but they will not help to make students learn. The learning process requires a concept to be learnt, the ability to put the concept into practice, and the possibility of receiving personalised feedback as to visualise the results of our performance. That is where game-based learning comes onto the scene. Game-based learning happens when the game itself is teaching the student. Imagine the story of a game, or its characters are teaching you concepts. Suppose the game integrates a simulation that allows the students to practice those concepts and receive personalized feedback. Then the learning is happening through the game. The game is ensuring experiential learning is taking place. Some role plays, simulations, or group dynamics are examples of game-based learning used in the past. Video game technology has boosted the possibilities of these tools.
That right there is game-based learning. And here, we'll just hop on that game-based learning. Reasons to use game-based learning: motivates students to learn, immerses them in the material so they can learn more effectively, encourages them to learn from their mistakes. So game-based learning helps students learn the material and helps you connect with other students. If they're not learning, in the end of the day, you will learn it. So it's important to know that. I have one more video that will show you, that will talk about what is going to happen in the future in terms of technology.
For over 30 years, technology and higher education have gone hand in hand. Universities and other institutions of higher learning have been aggressive adopters of new technology, leveraging the educational opportunities that computers, specialized software, and other IT equipment can enable. As a result, the classrooms of tomorrow will utilize mobility, cloud, and big data technology to accelerate student outcomes. Advances in cloud technology will allow communication and class participation on a global scale. Imagine a teacher in Beijing being able to lecture and interact with a classroom halfway around the world. Thanks to sophisticated learning management systems, students will be able to access that lecture remotely, along with all of their other important course materials anywhere, anytime, and from virtually any device. Universities today are just beginning to rely on predictive analytics to increase retention and provide a more personalized learning experience. In the near future, teachers will also rely on personal data with predictive modeling to monitor each student's engagement in the classroom. As we see the proliferation of devices across campuses, we will also see the need for innovative security measures. These systems will protect sensitive information while allowing unrestricted communication and transfer of data. These are just a few examples of how the technology of today is helping us transform the world of tomorrow.
So you see, technology is improving day by day. These are the references that I used for this presentation, the assignment, And I hope you guys learned a lot about what I presented about different primary learning techniques. I thank you and have a nice day. Bye.